This story takes place back in high school, in a small town where everyone knew each other. We grew up together, went through the same elementary schools, and eventually ended up in the same high school. In a place like that, word travels fast, and everyone always seemed to know each other's business. There was this one guy in my class who had been a constant annoyance for years. He wasn't particularly smart, and most of the time I was able to shut him down with quick comebacks he couldn't respond to. Usually, I just brushed him off and moved on. But there was always this simmering irritation in the back of my mind. One day in 11th grade, he decided to cross a line. He said something really mean to me in front of a group of classmates. I responded with a sharp comeback, and everyone burst out laughing at him. His face turned bright red with embarrassment. And then he leaned in close to me and whispered something absolutely vile. With a big grin on his face, he said, "Someone ought to hurt you." And he walked away, clearly proud of himself. I stood there frozen, furious, and disgusted. That one sentence replayed in my head over and over again the entire day. This wasn't just some harmless insult anymore. It was hateful, ugly, and crossed every boundary. After school, I made a decision. I wasn't going to fight him. I wasn't going to argue. I was going to take my revenge in a way that he would never forget. So, I walked straight to his house. His mom answered the door, and I told her everything, from the years of little comments to what he had said to me that day. She looked shocked, not only at the words themselves, but also that her son had been behaving like this for so long without her knowing. She invited me inside, and we were still talking in the living room when her son came home from school. The look on his face when he walked in was priceless. For a moment, he was confused. Then he realized exactly what was happening. His mom called him over and asked him directly if what I said was true. He tried to deny it, but she immediately caught him in the lie. What followed was one of the calmest yet most devastating scoldings I had ever witnessed. She didn't scream. She didn't yell. She spoke in a steady, disappointed voice that cut deeper than shouting ever could. She told him how ashamed she was, how disgusted she was by his behavior, and how he had not only embarrassed himself, but her as well. And then came the punishment. He lost his brand new, and worst of all, his mom forced him to sit down and write an essay about the error of his ways. Not just once, but over and over again until it was perfect. She promised that the punishments would continue until she was satisfied with his apology. He sat there, crushed, with no way out. I could almost feel his humiliation. And the best part? He never looked at me again. For the rest of high school, he avoided me entirely. No words, no insults, nothing. It was like I didn't even exist to him anymore. I never got to read those essays he had to write. But I like to imagine him struggling to put into words just how wrong he had been. What I do know is that he didn't get his driver's license back for nearly 6 months. And me? I walked away with the sweetest revenge possible. No shouting match, no fight. Just the quiet satisfaction of knowing that he was brought down by the one person he never expected, his own mother. Sometimes the best revenge doesn't come from anger or violence. Sometimes it's letting someone face the consequences of their own actions, right in front of the people whose respect they care about the most.